Hi guys, today for story time, we are going to be reading a Haggadah. Now, this Haggadah was made by my son Robert when he went to Kaplan, so I thought it would be a fun story for us to share. Now, you could make a little bit of a Haggadah if you like at home. You just need some construction paper and you could follow along. So, our first page has Robert's name and a picture he drew. And it says, My Haggadah. The first page was a note from his teachers. And look, the Kaplan logo. And one of his teachers was Anna and actually Heather too. And he made this with them. Then there's a picture talking about the Seder and how the Seder is a dinner that means order. So you do things in a very specific order. So this plate is showing the Seder plate. So it's got the bitter herbs. It's got the haroset, which is made with the chopped apple. It's got the shank bone. It's got the roasted egg. It's got the other bitter vegetable, the bitter vegetables, and it's got the parsley that we dip in the salt water. And he colored that on a real plate. So you could draw a picture with some Seder items and put them on a little plate too. The next page is about the blessings and the candles. So my son made these candles with the flames just out of construction paper. And then this page has the blessings. Now on this page, my son made parsley that we dip into the salt water. So it's just a little piece of aluminum foil and some green paper. So you could make that. And we dip the parsley into the salt water to remember our tears and our sadness that we were stuck in Egypt. Now on this page, we're thinking about matzah. And on this page, my son painted matzah and printed it onto the paper. So if you have any extra matzah at home, you could do that too. You could paint it and make a picture of it with the matzah. Now on this page, they talk about the 4 questions. One of these questions, well, the questions start out, why is this night different from all other nights? And see, it's just simply divided into 4 sections. And they talk about thinking there's a cushion here because you think about during the Seder, instead of having to sit up nice and straight, you can relax and lean. You don't have to sit up straight all the time. So that's a little pillow. And it's got some bitter herbs, thinking about not eating. Normally we eat yummy, delicious vegetables, but on the Passover Seder, there's some bitter vegetables to remind us of the bitterness of life. And there is a little piece of matzah printed paper because for our Seder and for Passover, we eat matzah, not bread that has risen. So there's a bunch of different foods that we don't eat, and we just eat the matzah. Did you guys make matzah with us last week? That was a lot of fun. I actually liked mine so much, I'm going to make some more matzah at home today. So we also think about the building of cities and how the Jewish people were slaves and had to build the cities for the Egyptians. And we think about that song that we sing. Bang, 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 hold your hammer low. Bang, 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 give a heavy blow. For it's work, work, work every day and every night. For it's work, work, work when it's dark and when it's light. So in this picture, my son just took some little squares of construction paper and he pretended they were blocks and he built with them. So you could do that too. And then we think of the story of Moses and his history. And one of the things was that when he left the Pharaoh's palace and he went to become a shepherd, he saw a burning bush. So on this page, my son painted with some red and orange and yellow. It looks like he rolled a ball in paint to make that beautiful burning image. And then there's some trees and some leaves representing the burning bush that did not burn. So I guess it's more of a bush. Now on this page, we're thinking about the 10 plagues. Remember, there were the frogs, and there were the locusts, and there was a bunch of wild beasts. There was a whole bunch of bad things. So in this page, my son did some stamping and stamped some frogs and some bugs and some locusts. But you could also just draw some frogs. You could draw some nice green frogs. And then one of the last parts of the story is the Pharaoh finally told Moses and the people to leave. So they hurried to leave, and then they got to the Red Sea. We saw a picture of that on the map yesterday in my story time about modern day Egypt. And when they got to the Red Sea, they said, "Oh no, what are we going to do? Pharaoh is now chasing us, and we have an ocean in front of us." And Moses put his staff down, and he split the Red Sea, and they were able to walk through. So you could make something like this at home with just some blue crayons or some blue paint, and you could take and draw a path through. In this one, it's actually sandpaper, so I can feel the texture of it. And when they got to the other side, they sang thank you to God because God had had the water crash in over the people, and they sang thank you. They sang, Il Hotzianu, 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 mi Mitzrayim, Hotzianu, mi Mitzrayim, Dayenu, 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 Dayenu. So that is the end of my son's Seder. But one of the other fun things we do, which I'm sure you've talked about with your teachers, is the afikomen. When you break the matzah early in the service, early in the Seder, you save a piece and you hide it. And then you get to find it. And that's one of the very last things of the night. And you get to have dessert, because dessert is always good. Well, I hope you enjoyed this Haggadah. And if you are celebrating, I hope you have a wonderful Passover. Bye, guys.